Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Pastor Mike, coming to you live from my office, my studio, my production studio downstairs. And I'm super excited to be with you again on today's Let's Go Live. As you all know, I'm here Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., offering a short word of encouragement, a little inspiration, maybe a joke, maybe a funny story. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth because I don't know what's stuck in my head that needs to fall out at 8 a.m. on any given morning. So, welcome to Tuesday. Hope it's going to be a good day for you because I think it's going to be a good day for me. So, are you ready? If you're ready, just type it in there with me. Just say, let's go and let's make this thing happen. Today, I want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek in what goes on in this pastor's life, usually from Tuesday through Saturday. And I want to tell you a story about me and my son, my oldest son, Noah. So, over here, right over here, you can see some of the computer screens that I have going on. Everything's being run that we do for church off of this little computer right here, this little MacBook Pro, this little 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's an awesome little device. It does all the things that I could ever want it to do right now and more. I'm very impressed with it. We do a lot of production to make our worship services and make everything that we're putting online look as good, sound as good, and be as glorifying to God as possible. And at this, not all those things, and be authentic. So we don't want to feel like we're overproduced. We just want to feel like we're doing the best we can. We're producing the best we can. We're making things that honor God in the best ways possible. So we try to make sure the music looks good, sounds great. We try to make sure the set most of the time doesn't have Chick-fil-A cups in the background, but occasionally they do. And then we want to make sure that the word that's preached and the liturgy that's given is given to you in a way that connects so that you can see the person giving it to you, that it's not just a body far away, but you can see their eyes. You can tell what they're thinking, what they're feeling, that you're engaging with them. And so in order to make all that happen, team, there's a lot of work that goes on. So I'm going to move you so you can see a little bit better what I get to play with every day. There we go. Let's move this over here. Okay. So what you're looking at right now is Steve Vandlin. That's our organist. I'm sure he loves having his face on Let's Go Live. This is the first time Steve's been on Let's Go Live. Let's just put him in there. And so Final Cut Pro is this powerful video editing program that allows us to stitch all of the portions of the service together. And so like this last week, you saw that we had some of these really beautiful shots of Liz because we used a really high-end camera to make that happen. But when I tried to use it for me, you'll notice that there's no straight shot for me because the camera shot didn't work for me. It was blurry. But all these little things, every little line here you see is an edit, a cut, an introduction of a piece of video, another clip. And so there's probably, I don't know, 150 clips or edits in here, putting it all together. Probably, there's each one of the songs is edited by itself, and so there's probably 100 clips and edits in every single one of the songs that you see there. There's my beautiful wife, Amy. She doesn't want that seen on camera. And so if you cruise up here, you can see, well, here's all the pieces of the puzzle, right? These are all the clips that we've been using, that we make every other week for you all to have this amazing worship service. I just want you to see the kind of the effort that we put into this for you to make it look good, to make it sound good, to make it feel good. And Let's Go Live was spawned out of two things. One was we realized that there's a lot of people that are losing hope. And so I wanted to make sure that we were speaking hope into a really, really, really difficult time. And the second part was I knew instantly in the middle of all this that we were all going to have to learn how to be on camera a lot more and be a lot more comfortable with it. And so that birthed Let's Go Live as we got started and started telling stories and trying to encourage people day by day. And here you all are with me, having a good time, getting to learn some stuff. And so there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on to make all these things happen. So you have a tech team that is working their booties off to make sure that every Sunday morning, not only is there a worship service live in the building, but they're also working hard to make sure that we're streaming it online, and they're also making sure that the services that we've made are making it online. And so there's so many moving components right now. It's pretty crazy, and so I'm thankful for the folks that are sweating that out with me as we make all those things happen. Um, so let me tell you a story, and it goes with. Let me see where we are on our timeline. All right. Let me tell you a story about going slow. A long time ago, I got to know a man by the name of Mike Yaconelli. Mike Yaconelli was probably the father of modern youth ministry, the rebellious heart of youth ministry. He's the kind of guy that had an uncontainable sense of passion, wonder, and discovery when it came to his faith in God, and he wanted to pass that on to, well, every kid that was in his youth group, every kid that he came in contact with. So Mike was always one of the keynote speakers at the National Youth Workers Convention, and Mike was just an uncontainable ball of energy, and he had this crazy hair that was kind of representative of his energy. And what I think is really crazy is he had a son, and he had a son named Mark. Now Mark grew up with a crazy man, crazy Jesus-loving youth pastor, encouraging guy. And Mark is a much different character, right? His son Mark is a seminarian, and he's just brilliant and kind, and he does the youth ministry circuit as well. And he tells this story of his son, and it's a story that I could project onto my kids, right? I could project this onto my son Noah, but this is Mark Yaconelli's story. So, Mark Yaconelli has a son named Joseph. I have a son named Joseph. Mark Yaconelli has a son named Noah. I have a son named Noah. I now live just a few blocks away from Noah's elementary school. I can walk there. It's just like right down the street. And when we used to live here in Oceanside, we lived down at the bottom of the hill. The bottom of this hill. If you've ever been to my home, we live on the top of a hill. We just discovered we kind of have an ocean view, but we're so far away we can't really tell it's the ocean, but we know it's the ocean. It's really kind of cool. It's exciting for us. So every day when it was school, I would walk Noah to school. And Mark Yaconelli tells a story of him walking his son, Joseph, to school. Every day as we would walk to school, Noah would walk incredibly slowly. He was just not in a rush to get anywhere. Noah was looking up at the clouds. He was noticing the trees. He would ask questions about everything that he would see. And one of the habits we got to was we would find a rock, and we would kick that rock all the way up the hill to the school. And then when I'd come pick him up in the afternoon, we'd kick that same rock all the way down, right? But sometimes we couldn't find that rock, the original rock. And so he would look hard for that same rock. He'd go, no, that's the Abraham Lincoln rock. That's the rock that looked like Abraham Lincoln. We got to find the Abe Lincoln rock. We've got to get to that same rock. And so he would be set on finding the same thing, and he'd be taking his time to slowly find it amidst all of the rocks that were around the campus. Mark tells the story of his son and how his son did the same thing, how his son Joseph just went slow all the time and just took things in. And he took things in with wonder, right? He took things in with discovery. And when he discovered what it was about, he had passion about it. And so Mark tells this story about his son and how his son created a club at school. And it was called the Slow Club. and in the Slow Club, there is no rush. In the Slow Club, there is no running. In the Slow Club, there's no interrupting, because there's time. And so his dad said, well, how do you become a member of the Slow Club? And he's like, well, you don't run, you don't interrupt, you don't rush. And Dad's like, I don't think I could do that. And then he realized what his son was doing. His son had slowed down enough in his Slow Club to see things that everybody else was missing. So when you're in the Slow Club, you would walk slow enough that you might notice a caterpillar on a branch. When you're in the Slow Club, you might notice a rock that looks like Abraham Lincoln. Um, when you're in the Slow Club, you hear the sound of the birds and the wind in the trees. When you're in the Slow Club, you notice the shape of a cloud that looks like the state of Texas. The Slow Club is this pretty amazing place to be because it's kind of like a reset for our very, very busy lives. The Slow Club requires us to give our attention to the things that really matter. And so often, most of us are giving our attention to things that don't matter. Most of us are giving our attention to our phones and screens somewhere, and we're letting life pass us by. So even now, as we're sitting here this morning, I want to encourage you today to put down your phone for as much as you can. Walk with me on the Slow Club, to get out and take a walk on the beach or around your neighborhood, and go much slower than you normally do. Allow your brain some time to reset. Take in the world with fresh eyes. Wonder about what the day holds. Consider what you might discover. Maybe you'll find a rock that looks like Abraham Lincoln. I don't know. Noah did. Every day. And I think if we let go of some of this rush, if we let go of some of this hustle, this bustle, and the hustle's good, the bustle's not good. I think if we let go of some of all this in the middle of the tension that we're currently experiencing nationally, and we enter into the Slow Club, we can find some things to share, some beautiful things to share, some wonderful things to share, some joyous things to share, some incredible things to share. And the world needs that right now. See, this all started with me saying, let's go, let's get out there. Now I want you to get out there, and I want you to find peace. I want you to get out there and discover hope. I want you to get out there and share passion. And passion takes time. Passion takes time. It's got to go slow. And so that's what I got for you this morning. I don't know. You can vote online who wants to be the president and the vice president of the Slow Club. You can elect whoever you want. People you know, people you don't know. I don't care. But let's put someone in the as a Slow Club president and vice president, and take today and slow it down a little bit. Let's take today and remember that God is in your midst. Let's take today and slowly breathe in the grace, the unforced rhythms of grace that God has for you and me today. So that's our story today. That's our Let's Go. I'm going to say good hello to the folks that are online today because I can't tell. All right, because I'm over here. Let's see if we can see. I want you to see what I see. I want you to see what I see. So in order to do what we're doing, my computer looks like it's doing everything. My computer's doing nothing for us. This is all happening off of our iPad. And now you have some visual feedback. Watch, 42 fingers. Zooming in. This is all on our iPad. And so here's what we got. I can see who's on here. So good morning, Linda. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Dorothy. Oh, my gosh. Good morning, Pat. And that's everybody that's online. I want to thank all my 8s of viewers that are with me this morning. If I've made you smile, if I've made you think, if I've made you consider something exciting for the day, do me the honor of hitting those hearts and likes. Continue leaving comments about your ideas on the Slow Club. And if it was worth it, tap that share and let someone else know that there's a story out there that's worth sharing, and there's hope out there that we all need to tap into. So here's what's coming up in church. This Sunday is we're online as well as live. We had some folks come into church this week and say it says online that our services are at 9:00 and 10:30, and I just don't think they read all of the information. So we need to do everything we can to make sure everybody knows right now that our live services at 10:00. We need to keep spreading that word, and our recorded services premiere at 9 and 10:30. I think in a couple of weeks we'll probably be going to two services live. Be praying about that because it's a lot of work for the team to make two services happen. But we want to continue to grow, and we're maxing out our building, so we want to add more people to it. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, so also this Sunday is our annual meeting. So right after worship at 10 o'clock, rolling directly into it at 11 o'clock, we'll have our annual meeting where we'll talk through the highlights of our church year. We'll remember those who we lost this last year, who've gone home to their kingdom eternal and triumphant. We'll talk through the finances of the church and the health and the concerns and all those other things. And we'll continue to do what we do here. So remember these things for you. God's love for you is what? Yeah, it's true. It's so true. Just write that in the comments. Write that wherever you're worried. Write that wherever you're concerned about things that are going on in this world right now. Just write down God's love is true. It's unwavering. It's unending. It's not going to stop. God doesn't stop during the bad times. God's love for you doesn't stop during the good times. God's love for you it's constant. That you remember this, that you were created to pursue an authentic relationship with your Creator. That you belong to Jesus Christ and you define who you are by what He says. And you exist every day to demonstrate God's love to a broken world. I hope you enjoyed this look behind the scenes in our Let's Go Live and some of the stuff that we do in church. If you know folks that are technically minded, we'd love to join them, add them to our team. If you don't know anybody, pray that we continue to find more people. And let's get out there, team. Let's go slow today. And have a great day. I'll see you soon.